Hi, today I thought what I wanted to do is look at some crinoids, these little fossils that I've been picking up out of the creek for years. We have a creek behind our house and it's full of these, well, I won't say it's full of them, but it's not unusual to find these little crinoids in the creek. And they're kind of fun little things. They're very unique looking. And I'm in Missouri, so that this is our state fossil. I guess not all states have that. But I've had these on a collection, basically sitting on a shelf, not really doing anything, and they were just kind of loose like that. We recently went through and kind of reevaluated what was on the shelves and everything, and so I put all these in a Tupperware container and thought, well, I was just going to figure out how I want to display them. And then I realized I started looking at these, and there's a whole bunch of them with holes in it. And I realized at museums and things, a lot of times you'll see Native American artifacts where they have necklaces made out of these things. And I thought, well, that's a cool idea. So I think what I want to do is make a necklace out of this, and not so much for someone to wear, but something we can display as a necklace, which I thought would be kind of cool. Instead of all these loose items sitting there, it would just be, oh, it's a necklace made of crinoids. So the one thing I was noticing, and just what I want to just show today, is just they're full of sand and dirt and things. So I thought what I'd do is just clean these things out, get the dirt out of there if possible. Some of that's kind of caked in there. Okay, it's been a couple days, and I thought I'd try to run down the creek and find a few more crinoids. So I did find a couple interesting things. Well, one, I did find a bunch of crinoids, I guess in about 30 minutes or so. Our creek has a lot of these, and sometimes it's kind of a random find what you're going to find in the creek, but I did find several more crinoids, and none of them have a hole that I could use for the necklace. So not a good day for finding usable crinoids for a necklace, but have some, and these really aren't that good of crinoids, but they're crinoids nonetheless. So we'll hang on to them for now. I did find, whoops, a couple interesting things. One's this little rock, has a hole in it. I thought I could just add that to the necklace. And so that got me thinking maybe I could find more rocks with holes in them. And really the only other one I found was this big one. And what's kind of cool about this, though, is it is a crinoid hole, and then maybe even two at some point. Kind of hard to tell. But those perfectly round holes, a lot of times, that's from a crinoid. And then whatever the reason, it just actually looks like there's one. Might be some more fossilized ones in here, yeah. So there's a few others in here. And so when it, anyway, so a lot of times it'll just fill in with debris, and you would just see the very end sticking out. But this actually has a hole, so that's kind of cool. And let's see if this little guy. Hard to tell without really getting out and inspecting it real close. But it kind of looks like that might be a crinoid hole as well. So anyway, found a couple things. I think that's too big for our necklace, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I was looking for something some kind of material or twine or something to go through and hold these together, and I was thinking some kind of natural fiber. But when I started looking at it, most of the natural fibers are going to be too thick to go through some of these little holes, especially like that little guy. So I needed something pretty thin. I was trying to think, well, maybe like something like catgut or something. That's kind of natural. It's from the intestines of cows and goats and stuff, like they use on classical guitars. But I don't have any of that right now. But what I do have is some fishing line. So I'm just going to go with that, and that happened to be sitting around the house. It's 20-pound test, and I think we're just going to use that as our necklace material. Again, this is just going to be for just to kind of show, it's just a display type thing. So I'm not too concerned about some of the quality of this thing as far as that part's concerned. Okay, looking at our crinoids, the ones we're going to use, I think what I want to do is start with the big one in the middle and then kind of work our way out, more or less. We'll see what that's going to look like. I'm trying to find maybe length that would kind of match up. More or less. Okay. And as I was collecting these, I thought it would be kind of interesting if you were to go back in time a few hundred years ago and say you were a young person living in the times back then, you didn't have your cell phones or YouTube or anything like that, or TV or anything really to entertain yourself, but I could see going into the creek would be kind of fun to look for stuff like this and maybe make a necklace for your girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, and maybe use it as a trade item as well, whether it's within your own tribe or perhaps a neighboring tribe of some sort, or with other folks. Okay, some of these are really teeny weeny. I kind of wonder, I wouldn't mind what I want to do with those. I want to put them on there, but I don't want them getting lost either. Maybe we'll just stick them on the ends. Let's try that. You're little guy. Whoop. And I got one extra here. Stick you right there. Okay, well, that's going to be kind of the thing we're going to go with here. I guess I could put that rock in there too. Where could the rock go? That's kind of rocky there, so maybe I'll put one right about there. Kind of, sort of. Okay, we're just going to do that. So we're going to, I'll just put these really little guys at the very end, and we'll hope for the best. So maybe I'm doing this during the crinoid, during the COVID-19 epidemic. So maybe if we have a total meltdown in the economy, maybe I'll be using this for trade for a can of chili or something. And I certainly hope we don't get in that kind of position. That's kind of cool. Okay. I guess what a person could do also is put beads on there, because I think a lot of Native Americans would have access to beads and other little trinkets they would probably add to something like this later on, before they got decimated by American people. Oh, that's kind of cool. Look at that. That's pretty neat. All right. Gosh. Well, maybe it's a bracelet. What do you think? Huh. That's kind of cool. I have a lifetime supply of jewelry repair stuff in this one little bag. And it cost me $1. I don't know if you can see this or not. This is one of those necklace clasp. There it is. It's funny, I've seen a lot of these in museums and stuff, and I think, what a simple little, assuming you have access to something like a crinoid in your area, but to be able to get that material. Okay. I'm afraid to snip that too short, because I know it's going to loosen it. Well, no one's wearing it, so there. Cool. Yeah. Yay. All right. What do you think? Pretty cool. All right, well, that was kind of a fun little project. I've been collecting these crinoids for a long time, and finally have a use for them instead of just sitting on a shelf in a big pile. I'll still have these in a big pile, the ones in the back here that don't have a hole in them. So as I collect more and more of these, maybe I could recycle these and make another necklace down the road, or have enough 20 years from now to make another necklace. So anyway, I just hope you enjoyed it. It was something kind of fun to do. It's just if you have something unusual like that you collect, and maybe a natural product, turtle shells or seashells or whatever, and you could make something out of it. Instead, like I said, just instead of having it in a pile on a shelf somewhere, you can actually kind of make something kind of cool looking. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you really enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you really, really like it, please subscribe. I just want to thank you very much for watching.